being able to handle the failures. That's really the ultimate question each and every player has, is how are you going to handle failure, because it's going to ultimately determine your success. And there's no greater story in our locker room than Jonathan Ducoff.
My name is Jonathan Ducoff. I grew up in Kingwood, Texas, and this is my first year at Texas A&M. I played 2 years at Baylor University, 2 years at Houston Baptist University, and just grad transferred here for a degree. Ended up walking onto the team and really excited for this upcoming season. All of my family is from Houston. They do everything for me. They mean everything to me. As soon as I could walk, I would drag one of those big plastic bats that you give little kids in our backyard, probably when I was 1.5 years old. Until I was about 10 years old, I really liked basketball more than anything. As I was going into high school, kind of saw my passion shifting. Baseball was pretty clearly the thing that I was most talented at. And so that kind of, I guess, forced my interest to it and just fell in love with the game from the time I was very young. I love both of the schools that I was at before this. Baylor University is a place that's really close to my heart. Some of my best friends go there or went there. And I committed really early out of high school, so I was sad to go, but it was a baseball decision that needed to happen, and ended up finding a home at Houston Baptist. My brother graduated from that school, so we have a little bit of history there. And I was able to move home and get close to my family, which was really important to me. I've played here against A&M before in my career, and it's definitely going to be fun to have them on my side now. I was diagnosed on January 5th. Should have never known that I had anything. I was training for the upcoming season. It was about 2 or 3 days before Christmas, and realized I had a hernia. I was in the weight room and had some pain, and started calling our team doctors frantically because I was worried about making it back for season. I knew that it was something that was probably surgical. It would take a few weeks. So they told me, hey, go to a 24-hour emergency clinic, and then when our team doctor's back from Christmas, we'll get this thing going. What they ended up doing at the 24-hour emergency clinic was a CT scan. The results of the CT scan actually came back and said that there were some odd things going on in my stomach, some findings that they had at the lymph nodes, and something that they wanted me to check out. And I blew them off and said, I'm ready to get out of here. It's the day before Christmas. I just want to go home. I don't want to deal with that right now. I feel fine. The doctor that ended up doing my surgery said, hey, we'll take out a couple of lymph nodes when we're in there and make sure you're okay and send you on your way. And didn't turn out that way. Ended up being diagnosed a few days later. That was a big hit, and really a hard time for me and my family. Really just kind of the question of, what's going to happen. Probably a couple of days after I actually got my diagnosis, after I got my crying and being a baby about it out of my system, I got hit with the most overwhelming piece that I can hardly explain. And the only way I can explain it is through my faith. Thankfully, in 3 or 4 months, short months, I was actually in remission. I was lucky enough to be on a treatment that, I didn't feel great all the time, but it wasn't traditional chemo. Between my mom and dad and brother and my girlfriend at the time, my fiance, they were all over me, bringing me meals and, helping me out any way I could, just to try to make sure that life was so simple for me during that time. The people around me were the ones who got me through it. The organization Versus Cancer is really close to my heart, always has been, and after about 1 year ago, it means a whole lot more now. Seeing people really rally around it and to donate not only, money and things like that, but to donate their time, that means a lot to me. That's something that'll be near and dear to my heart forever.
If he doesn't play in one game, he's made our team better, just by being in that locker room and being a part of his story.
Some of the younger guys especially jokingly call me grandpa because, I'm 4 or 5 years older than them. And I think that's something that I've embraced. I graduate at the end of this year in December. My undergrad was in finance. I'm doing a master's in accounting here. Somewhere in one of those two fields is where I see myself. My path is different getting here, but it's one that I really enjoyed, and I can't wait for one more year of college baseball, and what better place to do it than here.